No more crying. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Welcome to another episode of Sowing Musical Seeds with the San Antonio Chamber Choir. We're very pleased to introduce everyone to our artistic director of the Alamo City Street Choir, who happens to be my sister and a wonderful musician and a great leader. Tracy, can you tell us a little bit about why you started the Alamo City Street Choir?
Well, we saw a need. So many nonprofits do a great job with food and clothing in San Antonio, but the artistic ventures often get lost. So after visiting the Dallas Street Choir, I'm sure you remember that experience. It was it was so inspiring that both of us felt this is the time to do this in San Antonio.
What were some of the biggest hurdles to getting this off the ground?
Yeah, well, first it was just a rehearsal space. But after meeting Carol Gamble, who is the former executive director of Corazon Ministries, we knew we were on the same page. A person that was willing to go the extra mile for her guests and offer them something more on the emotional level so that they could feel more connected and feel more joy even in their difficult situation.
In developing that emotional level, one of the things that certainly has to be at the foremost front of that is the ability to garner their trust. How did you go about receiving that?
Well, I never take it for granted every single week because we usually have new members every single week. But regardless, it is the most important thing. So when I approach every rehearsal, it is always in the mindset of opening my heart to each singer with greatest respect and appreciation and an understanding that I have absolutely no idea what their life was like or what it is like today. And that each of us deserves respect and each of us is valued and brings an extremely important contribution to every rehearsal, whether they're the best singer on the planet or whether they've never sung a note in their life.
What are some of the songs that seem to stick to their bones?
You know, it's a variety of genres that seem to really interest the vast majority. Spirituals, pop, a little bit of folk, but I would say the spirituals stand out the most. And I think it's just because, they have been honed for centuries. So by the time we're receiving them in 2020, those motives and those phrases are absolutely exquisite.
What triumphs have you had in the short time that you've been with them? You started in September, as you mentioned, at the Corazon Travis Park with Corazon Ministries, and have been working right up until the pandemic started. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about some of the triumphs so far?
Well, I think one of them would have to be the benefit concert that we did with your chamber choir. I think there were a number, and maybe the entire choir had an aha experience right there, where they were hearing all these different parts around them with stunning voices. But for me, it was that, and in addition, it probably is every single week that they show up and that they try, and I often ask them to do some silly things in order for them to lose their conservative shells that we all walk around in and to maybe help find their voice just a little bit better.
What are some of those silly things that you do in rehearsal?
We do a lot of arm movements to try and show how the breath is moving through the space. We do a lot of dancing. We've even started solfege hand signals, which they were totally on board with, which kind of surprised me in the best of ways. Anything to get them acting and to find their inner voice so they can share it.
In what ways do you think this has changed their lives?
It's hard to know. According to some of the staff and the volunteers there, the wonderful staff and wonderful volunteers, uh, they see more joy and more hope. And I think I sense that too. I certainly hope that's true.
What do you think hope for in terms of change in San Antonio itself due to your work with the Alamo City Street Choir?
Well, hopefully we can continue to sing as soon as this COVID leaves the planet. Um, it's not
Amen.
gonna, yeah, yeah. Amen is right.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah. Come Jesus. Here we go. Um, I think all of San Antonio is going to be super excited to hear these folks. And when they hear these folks, they're going to see them in a different light. And of course, when they see them in a different light, then the singers are going to feel that kind of love, and it's all going to work together, and we are going to have a different world. That's just a small little goal.
It's just a small little goal. Well, we know you're a dreamer, and nobody would undertake this immense goal. But I would love to have you explain about some of your long-term dreams that you have for this group and the collaborations that you're hoping to have happen in the future.
Well, that's really nice. However, I do want to kind of stress the importance that this is a village. So it is the Travis Park Church that is unbelievably supportive. Corazon Ministries, its staff, and now that Carol has left, John Chadwell has stepped in, and Phil Watkins, and a whole number of volunteers that are just incredible. And I have volunteers, and Katie Shaw Meadows plays the piano and brings this beautiful spirit every week. So I could go on and on, but you understand.
Yeah,
It's a village.
it is. And you have a couple people that actually play instruments in rehearsal too. That are
The village within the choir. So a drummer and a trumpet player, and they write most of their own arrangements, and it's wonderful to hear their creativity. And going on with the village, Mary Mackay from University United Methodist Church donated those instruments to our group. So it is a tribe. It is absolutely a tribe that's responsible for this whole thing. I couldn't do it myself. Now on to dreams. So dreams are, we continue to perform every 4 to 6 weeks. We use more soloists, hopefully from your beautiful group. And even, we're starting a letter writing campaign to Stevie Wonder. He's one of my idols. I know the choir loves him. We want to send appreciation letters to him, and maybe he'll come and drop us a little
what's the
time.
song you're working on right now? With the Stevie Wonder song?
Yeah, Higher Ground.
Yeah.
Just a masterpiece. I mean, you don't get a lot better than Stevie Wonder. I mean, when you hear genius, you know genius. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi is another one. We're going to start some letters to Bon Jovi too. And, who knows? Sky's the limit. And beyond that, I'd love to start a school, and I actually think that will happen. So I'd love to start a music school where these folks can get private lessons from wonderful vocalists and maybe instrumentalists too. And so wait and see.
I know you've received some funding from the San Antonio Chamber Choir, some support there. What are some of the other sources of funding that you're looking at and have gotten, and what's going to motivate the singers to be coming back every week as well?
HEB has been a great donor, Frost Bank. We even have Wendy's on San Pedro has given us little Frosty coupons that I hand out at the end of rehearsal that are super important. I'm sure we'll have more restaurants to tell you about that they will contribute in the near future whenever we get back to it. Those have been extremely important because our costs aren't great, but they do help cover the minimum.
Right, and it gives also a little incentive for the
Yeah,
singers to be coming back every week as well.
absolutely. Very important that
And
they know that they're rewarded for their time and effort.
you've done some bus passes too, which they cherish.
Yes, bus passes are big. And when we resume, I really want to get that going.
Yeah.
So that if they're able to be in the rehearsal within the parameters of the rehearsal expectations, they will receive that bus pass.
Well, Tracy, you've done a remarkable job with this group in such a short amount of time. It's very inspiring to all of us. I know I speak for the entire San Antonio Chamber Choir Board in just expressing our thanks and gratitude for the incredible vision, lifeblood, heart and soul. The smiles that come to every single singer every week are just truly powerful and life-giving. And I really mean all of that with all of my heart, as you know. Tracy, it's been wonderful to have you with us. We are so pleased that you're directing the Alamo City Street Choir. Thank you for all of your efforts.
Oh, thanks, Rick. I really appreciate it. It's great to be with you.
One more time.